So what we're going to cover today is why using national content can be a great way to drive conversation and engagement, because, well, it just is. We are going to look at a few verses. So we're going to look at Edinburgh Zoo versus Manchester News. We're looking at Kiss a Ginger Day, very, very random. So yes, is it the most important national day? It might be to you, but to Edinburgh Zoo and Manchester News, they've got great engagement on it for completely different reasons, and I want to talk about how. Lidl versus vegan cakes. So this was all about veganuary, which again was absolutely huge. So I want to talk to you guys about how they used veganuary for, I guess, to promote themselves. Vegan cakes is an independent, Lidl is not, obviously. And then good old Brewdog, and then we've versed them, if you like, or versus them with Bell and Co Bubbly, and this was for Dry January. So these were like big topics that were kept coming up as national content over the course of the month, and this is talking about how different brands leverage that, and then what you guys can do as well. And then I'm going to come up with some content ideas for you guys based on the stuff that's coming up over February and probably into March, which hopefully will help you guys with planning. Because even I was literally talking to a business yesterday, and they were saying, could you please send me this content calendar so that we can come up with, ideas for, daft videos that they can do in the office, and, just little things that they can do to create more engagement on social media. So as always, the fastest way to learn from what will work best is to look at what your competitors are doing and improve on it. So with us, you can do this, which is a content calendar, which means that you can dive in and add as many competitors or large brands as you like, and you can see the entire posting schedule. So I've just put Aldi in here, but basically you can see the entire posting schedule, as well as look at against your own content. And then you can also remix it. So if there's a business that you like and you think, oh, actually that their content would really resonate with my clientele, you can literally click on a button and repurpose it as your own as well. I say this every week. I don't even get tired of saying it because it is mind-blowing. 79.1% of consumers in the UK spend over an hour on social media per day, and only 19% of businesses have active social media accounts, aka they're posting. They might have made one, but are you actually doing anything with it? So if you want to reach that number, then you need to start talking and making sure that you're actually talking so that you can reach them. And that's basically what we do. So we help over 25,000 businesses get more out of social media. And so we look at everything from how to compare your social media performance with any other business, which obviously I've mentioned. And we give you tons of different tools and the insights to use social media more effectively. And then we do loads of training. I cannot describe the amount of training that we've got, whether it is like little 3-minute videos, right through to obviously the stuff that you guys do with me. We do all of it. So here we are, guys. So this is National Kiss a Ginger Day. I'm just going to jump straight into the content here because I absolutely love this. So as we've discussed before, we are helping you guys come up with not just, I guess, how to get better at social, but actually one of the things that you guys will, not just you guys, businesses generally, placemakers, independent businesses, shopping centres, we all struggle with it, is what is good content, how to come up with good content actually when, in the days where you've just not got a huge amount going on. That's what the national days are for. So this one was National Kiss a Ginger Day, and I've done Manchester News versus good old Edinburgh Zoo. Funnily enough, I actually used to work for Edinburgh Zoo. It was my first ever marketing job. There you go, a little bit of trivia for you. So this is Manchester News Desk, and this is a tweet. Because, to be fair, I don't think we talk enough about Twitter sometimes on this. So this is a tweet, and actually the national cause today is National Kiss a Ginger Day, and here is the video if it loads. Sorry guys, it doesn't seem to be loading. Give me a second. Right, here we go. Right, so sorry, the dog went absolutely mad there. Apologies, but we are live. This is what happens occasionally. So let me see if it plays. Twitter's taking its sweet time here. Right, basically what they did was that they wanted to leverage the national content. So what they did was they used, I guess, one of the more random national days, which, it's a news station ultimately at the end of the day, they talk about news, that's what they discuss. So what they did was they looked at all the random celebrities, all the celebrities who have red hair, and then they put them all together in a little video, and then they created a poll which was all about the nation's most kissable redheads. So Ed Sheeran beat last year's winner, which was Prince Harry, to the top, with 17% of people voting for him. And then they then showed all the other ones. So let's see if you can properly click on this now. There we go. There you go. Right. Okay. I mean, there are tons of, I'm assuming, very lovely, kissable celebrities there, but effectively what they've done is it's pop culture. They've taken what is a national day and they've gone, what could we talk about on National Kiss a Ginger Day? I know, let's just pull together loads of news coverage of lots of different celebrities. They've clearly done like a little bit of a poll on Twitter or something like that to ask people, you know, who would be in their top 10. They've used a percentage and then they've turned that into video. Now this got 22,000 views. And from my perspective, it's just a really good idea. And actually, any business could have taken that and repurposed it for themselves, done something like, I don't know, so say you're a hairdresser or a hair salon, you could have done, I don't know, it's National Kiss a Ginger Day, or National Kiss a Ginger Day was yesterday, and I don't know, Ed Sheeran came out on top, but do you think it would be, do you think it would be Prince Harry? Do you think it would be Emma Stone? You know, basically you could have done your own poll off the back of this. You could have done polls in your stories. And it's not to say that actually, you know, that you have to be a hairdresser, or you have to, you know, anybody could have done something like this. And I think that's what's so good about these kind of national days is that, you know, on a slow news day, or actually just to brighten up someone's day, or in fact, just to talk about something a bit random. There's nothing wrong with doing this, and there's nothing wrong with repurposing this kind of content because it got engagement, it got views, and obviously it's Manchester News, right? So they obviously have a team of people that can pull together a video like that. You don't have to have that. You can repurpose other people's content, like I said, using the content schedule and content planner, or you can actually take that and you can, you know, like take the, you can take the link, for example, and you can repost it yourself, or you can take an idea and then go, right, okay, well, what national days are coming up? How could we do this and turn it into celebrities? So I don't know, it might be about food, National Food Month or something like that. It might be, you know, I don't know, like top trends in restaurants, you know, that what would be your favorite. There's loads of ways of doing something like this, but the point is that if a news station can do it, there's no reason why we can't. And also we can take that content as long as you tag them in and, you know, say that it's from them, etc. And obviously there's lots of different terms and conditions around those kind of things, which you will find if you have a look on maybe. But effectively that's what it is, guys. It is just repurposing content. It's coming up with some ideas, and it is taking, I guess, something that's very, you know, it's a national day, but it's a fun national day, and actually loads of people really got behind it. So just wanted to show you that one first, and hopefully we won't have any more interruptions now, guys. Apologies. And then here we have one that's a bit close to my heart. As I said, that was my first ever marketing job, was working with Edinburgh Zoo, doing all their social media and bits and bobs years and years and years ago. But this was for the same thing. So they did National Kiss a Ginger Day. Now, basically what they've done is they've looked through the entire year and looked at what are all the national days, which is, again, what I'll show you guys later. These are all the national days. What ones can we relate directly back to the zoo as, you know, as an organization? So that would either be through, I guess, their services and what they provide, or through the charitable element, or the obvious one, through the animals. So, you know, obviously there's things like national, you know, I assume there's a National Penguin Day. There'll be, you know, lots of things like that where those ones are obvious. This one I loved because it was happy #Kiss a Ginger Day to all those who celebrate it. Our red panda Ginger, so she's red and called Ginger, prefers not to share kisses, but a smile and a wave is always welcome. You can also visit Kitty and Kevin, who've joined us from the wildlife park, well, our charity Bill's Scottish Wildlife Discovery Centre. Say hello to them at their home behind Penguin Rock. And I love this because look, everybody just has gotten really behind it. They've all said how sweet it is. The picture is absolutely gorgeous. So everyone knows with Instagram, the picture is what sells everything, you know, it's what attracts you in, it's what stops you scrolling through. So what we do is we make sure that when you are, you know, like if you think about the content, think about the image, so it needs to be a showstopper. Then it's, you know, if it's hashtag Kiss a Ginger Tea, there's going to be hundreds of people that are using that. So what is going to interest them? Well, actually, by doing the tag of like the at Wildlife Park, and then Highland Wildlife Park, and then even adding in a few hashtags, you're going to get more of that local content, or it might have been hashtags like something to do with, you know, like people that, you know, I don't know, hashtag Red Panda, hashtag Zoo, hashtag Edinburgh. Those kind of things would have helped, I guess, drive more of that local content or local people to there. But I guess if you're going to use a national hashtag, make sure that it directly relates back to a product if you can, or if not, you can just do it for fun, a bit like what Manchester News did, guys. So it's basically to show that there's two ways of doing it. You relate it back to you in some way. So I saw some businesses, as I said, that were salons that were celebrating, you know, all the different reds that people were coming in and asking for highlights or dyes and things like that. There was, you know, personal trainers who had red hair that were on there doing, you know, like their top 10 things about you know, loving being a redhead. There was businesses who had, you know, like a redhead working there who was willing to, you know, go on camera and say, come on, kiss me, blah blah blah. I mean, I assume not literally, but you know, that was the kind of joke. And then of course you had loads of celebrities who all had red hair that were out doing things as well. So there was tons of different content, and if that is just one small day, think about all the other days of the week, the month, the year. So these are, you know, they're two big, you know, institutions in different rights, and I guess this is how they have, you know, done it. So it's either directly relating back to them and, you know, trying to, you know, ultimately get people down to the zoo, or it is, you know, just a bit of fun and a bit of engagement that you can always use as well. Right, let's keep going, guys, because we've got loads to cover today. Right, now we're going to get on with Veganuary. So Veganuary is, we're going to start with Lidl. So Lidl, I've told you before, they do really good content, really, really good, strong content on social media. Here we are. Sorry, let's skip there. And one of the things that they do really well are their reels, because they tend to just basically go into the supermarket and wander around and pick up stuff and then talk about it. So it's not, you know, like fancy schmancy stuff. They always start it with something like this, which is an image showing off something. And then when you click on it, it's all the detail. So here you are. Awesome. So as you can see, what they've done is they've done a flat lay, which we talk about sometimes when we're talking about, you know, how to show off your product. So they've embraced the national content is the Vegan January or Veganuary, which a lot of people did, and it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And then what they've done is they've taken that opportunity to get in a whole load of new vegan products, which we'll talk about in a second on that actually. So they've got in a whole load of new vegan products, and then what they've done is they've laid them all out on a table and literally got the camera and just done that over them. Anyone could do that with any product at all. So you don't have to be Lidl, you don't have to have a marketing team. You could do that yourself, lay them all out nicely on a nice coloured background, and then just hold the camera over it. So that's the start of it. And then all they've done is using Reels, they've then added in the captions. So as you can see, this is the Vimondo meat-free range. And then as you go through it, I won't like play the music again. As you can see, it's just someone walking around picking it up. And then they've got, let's start with the great essentials. They've then added in like all the little captions explaining it. They've added in how much things are. They put it in a trolley to show, you know, like, you know, it's that kind of like showing the literal experience of doing it. And obviously it's nice and quiet when they're doing it. Which I think we all know Lidl is always busy. So it is, you know, it's showing you that these are all the things that you can get, showing off the signage, it's showing you where it might be, and then it's of course telling you to scan and talking about their app as well. So it's kind of selling Lidl, it's selling their vegan products, and they're using Veganuary as a way of really promoting the products. And then of course they followed it up with this. So, and then, you know, they made a little joke, you know, we can't be leaf, how great our Vimondo range is, either in store now, but then at the same when it's gone, it's gone. Now that's what I want to go back to. So they've done a whole load of stuff here. They've put, you know, prices, subject to availability, prices correct as of this date, and then they've done the hashtags. So all of that, to me, any business could have done for Veganuary if you stocked anything to do with vegan products. If you know, I was talking yesterday to a cleaning company that only that only use vegan, eco-friendly chemical, like products, you know, so sorry, non-chemical. They just use that, you know, in their sprays. That business could have done something with that. It doesn't have to be food. It can just be vegan related. But I guess what I'm saying is that they've said they've got all of this in. They've made it very clear that, you know, it's like a fear of missing out. You know, you don't want to miss this. And then here, look at what everyone's saying. Why can't the vegan Spanish onlets be always available? There are some people that are vegan 12 months of the year. Why? Hundreds of whys. Can't this be available all times of year? And why only in January? Please keep stocking it. Italian week, okay. Try most of them. I wish you had more products throughout the year. So what does this tell you? This is almost like a market tester. This is, if I'm Lidl, I'd be looking at all these comments, especially if they get, you know, thousands of other ones across maybe their other channels across the, you know, that's one post. Think about all the other posts. So if I had that, I would be thinking, right, looking at all my stores, where did we sell the most out of? What items did we stock? Did we, I don't know, like, did we lose stock on really, really quickly? What items were most requested? And then go back to the social media. And then we'd go, guess what, guys? We have listened to you and we've decided to stock more of these products in, and it might only be in certain stores where obviously, you know, they've got to make it viable. But the idea should be is that actually this is testing your market. So social media can be a really, really good way of testing out what people want, what people need. So whether it is by doing something like this and jumping on a national content and coming up with, you know, it could be National Donut Day and you're testing out new donuts and you want to see what people prefer. And then you just want to go with one set rather than another one. Like, there's no reason why you can't do something like that, guys. It's about taking people's feedback. So if I was them, I would be going in and replying back to all of these. So as you can see, they have. We hope you're enjoying them. We've passed our comments back onto the buying team and they've said James, so they know that it's actually a real person that's behind it, you know, that they've responded back, you know, thank you very much. So again, when you do anything like this, make sure you're responding like they do. But as I say, flatly, video over, talking about their products, and then quite literally they've now understood the market more, and then they're more likely to bring in more of these products based on that. So it's just such a strong way to take a national campaign and turn it into something that actually really sells for you. Okay. Now this is V Cakes by Ranj. So this is an indie and I love it. I love their Instagram, and this I'm hoping again will be inspirational if there's any independent businesses on here, so you don't feel it's all too much in national, but there's loads we can learn from national stuff. So V Cakes, as you can kind of imagine, are vegan cakes. And so this is a baker that specializes in making, I mean, look at the color, stunning, stunning, stunning cakes that are vegan. And here, what they've done is they've made these, I mean, it just looks like a work of art, doesn't it? It doesn't look anything like an actual cake. I'd be too scared to eat it because I mean, I'm not going to lie, I would eat it, but you know, it's because I'm hungry. But yeah, they look delicious. And so here they're saying Happy New Year. So this is clearly like one of their first posts after the new year. So yeah, January the 1st, there you go. Lots of lovely emojis, but then starting the year with your most requested flour. So that is basically, they do, you know, like flour related cupcakes, and they keep getting the same one asked all the time. So again, that's what social is great for, is testing these things out. And then they've put what it is. So it's the lemon flavored mini and large sunflowers. We love making these for you, which again, just is really personal because it shows it's from the heart. It's, you know, they've made it directly because customers have requested it. But going back to the national content or the national campaigns, today marks the start of Vegan January. If you're thinking of eating more plant-based this year or just curious, sign up to @WeAreVeganuary. It's a great starting point with daily emails offering practical advice, meal ideas, etc. So that is the trust building bit. They've used a national content and yes, yes, they're going to sell those cupcakes, of course they are, but they've used national content, and instead of actually just using it purely to promote a set product, what they're actually doing is they are using it to basically entice people to learn more about being vegan, or if they are indeed, I don't know, just doing it for January, there might be loads of stuff that they've got loads of questions on. So what they're doing is they're trying to go, do you know what, here's somewhere where you can sign up and you can get some top tips on how to, basically navigate January when you're doing Veganuary. So that is trust building. So it's national content that directly aligns with their business. They've taken a stunning picture. They've used social media clearly in the past to sort of understand what people want, what people need, which is what social media is great about. And then, of course, they've related it back to something that they're clearly passionate about, which is natural, that there's national days for everything. So remember, Veganuary is just one of them. And then they're saying my top tips and favorite vegan products can be found in my blog. So that is then giving me an action. So it's giving me two actions, one to find out more about maybe vegan products, and then it's giving me another one to go to their website and read their blog. So again, it's letting me know what you want me to do. And then they're saying best of luck, and if I can be of any help, please message me. So again, they're not go and buy my cupcakes or come on down and buy my cupcakes. They're saying message me if you've got any questions. I'm here for support. I'm here for help. That is trust building. So you can use national content as a way to show whether it's something ethical, or it might be a charity that you're involved with, or it might be, I don't know, a cause that's close to your heart. You can use the national stuff to basically show the human side of your business, as well as obviously that trust building as well. But yes, please give me these cakes because they look incredible. So this is Lidl's content calendar, because as I said, best way to learn is by comparing, contrasting. So you can literally just add in Lidl, you could add in, if you're a baker, you could have added in these guys. If you want to learn more about vegan products, you could add in any of the maybe vegan related Instagram accounts, for example. And then what you get in here is you get to see what kind of content they're posting now with, interestingly. So they use Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can see they use them fairly evenly, but what they do is they do tend to do different content on different channels. Now that's, it's much of a muchness. It kind of depends on who you are, what your business is, and what channels you're using, and who your customers are, whether you can repurpose it. But make sure if you are using different content on different channels, use the maybe platform, so you can start to look at, right, okay, I don't know, this one got more likes on Facebook or Instagram, so I'm going to start doing more of this type of content on Facebook or Instagram. That's the kind of idea behind it, is basically testing out different channels and seeing what works. If the same thing works across the same channels, there's no harm in just repeating it. Just make sure you tag in appropriately on Instagram and Facebook, or see Twitter or something, and then make sure that you're using the right hashtags as well, because again, they might differ slightly. Oh, got a question. Let me just have a look. Sorry, I'm just reading a question, guys. Okay, so hi, so you work for Calderdale Council, and it is, which is the council supported factory to help, so it's ISCAL or ISCAL, I assume, which is the council supported factory to help people with disabilities and barriers into employment, as well as skills building and personal development. We manufacture tissue coasters for the hospitality industry. As COVID has made it's really made bars and restaurants struggle with businesses. Struggle with business. We are now struggling to sell our products and wondered if you have any ideas to help such a niche product. Yes. And I think a lot of what I guess you will have to be doing is a lot of that. It's that kind of networking and engagement, I would suggest, is probably the best way to get out there. So if I was to say I'll just click to answer this live. And then if I have any more questions, obviously, that you can let me know. So with something like that, obviously you're trying to target set people. So you will have set channels where set people are on. So like Facebook, for example, will have a lot of communities that are dedicated to, especially like anything around disabilities or anything around, you know, empowering people with disabilities. But then you've also then got your communities that are based, you know, it might be NHS based, or it might be you know, council based, or it might be worker based, etc. So you will have set community groups that would be worth you seeing if you could join, so that then you can make sure that you're keeping on top of any of I guess the topics that they are talking about, that you could maybe comment on, so that again you're building up that rapport, and then you're also building up that kind of what's the word, visibility. Because the more that people see you, the more that they go, oh, right, okay, they're not just trying to, you know, like talk about this or sell this or do this. Actually, it's about trust building. So that could be an area that you really look at. And Instagram is obviously more like hashtag based and things, and Twitter is the same. It's kind of looking at topics, but hashtags that would be around about the, I guess, what other topics are the people that you're trying to speak to and engage with, what other things are they looking at, so that then you can make sure that you are targeting your content accordingly, so that when you then do the outreach, aka go in and, you know, start engaging in hashtags and groups and with other local businesses, and, you know, as I said, using the engage tab on maybe will help you. You then have the right content for when they're coming back, if that makes any sense. But honestly, feel free to pick our brains if you want. The little blue button on Maybe, if you click it, type in, you know, like some questions around that, and then I will flag it up to the team as well, and we'll send you some thoughts and ideas on it as well, if you need anything specifically, you know, where we are. But I'm hoping that helps a little bit. Obviously, yeah, it would be easier probably to talk to you directly, and then we could get a better understanding of exactly where the issues are and what, you know, a bit more about the product and a bit more about what you do, so that then we can come up with some, I guess, more, what's the word, more specific ideas, I guess, especially around about content. But again, usually for content, the way it's always hitting people where they feel it, whether that's like, you know, a lot of the times it's hitting them in the funnies or hitting them in the feels. So it's hitting them where, you know, what is the person you're trying to target's pain point, and how does your product solve that pain point? So whether that's through video, whether that's through discussion, whether that's through how to or top tips or things like that, or sometimes it is about engaging them on like a more kind of like humorous level, but it kind of, again, it's difficult because of your what you're doing. So yeah, I guess I'm hoping that helps a little bit. And then yeah, anything else, just drop it in the chat, or as I said, click on the little blue button and just ask some specifics, and we'll help you as best we can. Anyone else got any questions, please just drop that in, guys. That would be great. So then we have Dry January, and I've chosen some alcohol brands to look at Dry January. Funnily enough, so Dry January used to be huge, absolutely huge, and then interestingly, Veganuary, I don't know if anyone else has felt this, but Veganuary, I feel, is like really taken over from Dry January. People are still doing it, but I guess it's less of a like huge topic, whereas like vegan side of things is just everyone was talking about it. But what I've done is I've looked at Brewdog. So because Brewdog are awesome on social. They're always on social all the time, and they always doing the most random things, as you can see, whether it's a dog with its head in a box of beer. I mean, as you do. They do little taste tests at their different bars and things like that. But this one was basically talking about their alcohol free. What the series is actually an interesting one as well, because I think any business could do something like this. They've done an A to Z of the business, so Brewdog A to Z. So it's basically using letters to correspond to a particular product or service that they have, and then they've done a video for it. So you could do one each day, for example, A to Z, one each day, and anyone can do this, whether you're a hairdresser, whether you're a council. You could, you know, celebrate all the different businesses that you've got or different services that you've got within your council. It could be you know, a mortgage advisor, it could be a baker, it doesn't matter. Anybody could do that as a concept. But anyway, they've chosen to focus on use Dry January and the A to Z kind of idea to talk about their alcohol-free beer. So I'm gonna warn you in advance, there might be the odd little cheeky word in here, but I'll try and keep it as clean as we can.
Not be boozy, but they're fucking banging.
Okay, maybe not.
Hey, this
right, maybe not. Apologies. So I will keep that off, and I will just I couldn't remember if the swear word was at the end or the beginning, so I apologize. So here they're talking about the alcohol-free beer. They're saying they love beer. As you can see, it's all very chatty and then kind of talking to camera. They're talking about the fact that it is alcohol-free, but sometimes, you know, if you've had a rubbish day at work, you kind of want to a crisp lager, but also at the same time, you maybe want to moderate a little bit of your alcohol intake. So they've made Lost AF, which is their alcohol-free beer. And then they're talking about that they want to take alcohol-free to the next level. And that's why we can't compromise on things like the flavour and the body and the taste and things like that. So then they go into lots of detail about how they actually create it, how it tastes. And as you can see, the guy clearly loves his job and yeah, just loves life. Okay, so with this, what they've done is they've taken a national campaign, gone, right, that's a great opportunity for us to talk about alcohol-free products. And any business would have done this. Lidl talked about their alcohol-free products, you know, their, you know, like alcohol-free Proseccos, and, you know, a lot of businesses talked about it. But then on the flip side, a lot of people talked about it being more of a kind of, you know, like a lot of people do like Sober October and that kind of stuff. What a lot of people have done is kind of flipped it on its head and talked about, you know, actually the personal side of it. So a lot of businesses showed if anybody in their office was doing dry January, and obviously it can be a personal thing, but a lot of people did actually go on camera and talk about, you know, right, okay, I'm 3 days in, I'm 5 days in, this is how I'm feeling. And, you know, they showed, you know, the personal journey behind it. But for them, they kind of thought, well, do you know what? A lot of people drink alcohol-free beer who just, they either don't drink or they do drink occasionally, but they want to reduce their alcohol intake, or it might be something to do with calories and that kind of thing. So what they're doing is they're taking a national campaign. They are talking about their product in a very, yes, passionate way, so apologies. And they are doing they've used the hashtag Brewdog A to Z. So they've done like an A to Z of all their different products, which again is such a good idea, especially if you're doing a campaign. If you were doing a month-long something around, I don't know whether it was some kind of awareness month or something like that, you could do an A to Z, you know, to talk about all the different services to do with, you know, that particular awareness month. It's a really good idea. And I think just doing like keeping it simple and doing the real and just showing the passion that you've got for your product, I think is the key for this. So I think if there's any kind of takeaways, it's thinking about how you can leverage national content to talk about your product, but then you can also use it as a bit of a series. It doesn't have to be a one-off post. It can be lots of different things. I promise the next one has no naughty words in it. So this is an independent, and this is, in fact, I'll show you. I'll just show you. So this is alcohol-free bubbles, and it's a Bell & Co bubbly. So they're saying here, we are celebrating 10 years of Dry January. Our friends at Alcohol Change UK have positively impacted the people participating over these past years, and we're super happy to be supporting their cause. Here are fun ways to liven up this month. Now, they've given then some top ideas on how you can liven it up if you've maybe never done alcohol-free before and you're used to maybe drinking. It's like, how can you how can you not drink and still have a good January, basically? That's kind of what they're talking about. So first of all, they've used, it's the fact that they're talking about their alcohol-free bubbly, which obviously, you know, if you are into your bubbly and it tastes lovely, then that is something that you would want. So talking about that, they're then talking about Alcohol Change UK, which is obviously the organisation that is supporting people who are trying to change their habits with alcohol, which is obviously an important one. So, you know, they're showing, I guess, the human side of their business, that, you know, that they're supporting this as a cause, I guess, and how they're supporting it. They have obviously used the national hashtag. They're then showing, again, as that sort of human aspect of, you know, they're really supporting people, and that, I guess, people buy from people. So when you, especially when you're an independent, people want to understand, you know, why you do what you do, what your story is, all that kind of stuff. And then they've just built up, I guess, you know, yes, you might want to buy off the back of that really lovely video, because it just looks delicious. But it's more about I guess the trust, which kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier on about the vegan cakes. It's, you know, like, here are fun ways to liven up your month. It's your first time participating, why not encourage your friends to, you know, it's all about, you know, like being in it together, group, you know, teamwork makes the dream work, all that kind of stuff. They're giving you an idea about a mocktail, sorry, that you can do using their what they called it, Fresh Spritz of Bel Air, which I love that little play on words, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And then they're saying that their full recipe can be found via the link in their bio. So they're driving you back to their website. So whilst it's building up the trust, they are just driving you back to their website so that, you know, you might want to make the mocktail, but also you might want to buy the product, of course. And then it's saying, why not try your hand at finding the perfect pairing for Bell & Co? Grab a couple of different snacks, see what pairing you like. Now, they could have gone even further with this and actually tagged in some of the brands that they would recommend. So some of the vegan brands, like that's what, sorry, not vegan brands, might have been like some alcohol-free other like brands that they could use, or it might be mixers, or it might be even food. It could have just been food brands, you know, that they like, that, you know, and what would naturally go with bubbly. So if I was them, I would have taken that further to get more reach and more engagement, as I would have, you know, come up with some products you could tag in. So again, why couldn't you do this as a business? If you've got any national campaign coming up, think about how can you relate it back to your product, but then it's thinking about how can you build up the trust. What other brands can you use to like tag in, to like tag on to that product or service? And then how can you, you know, show the human side of your business as well, which might be, as I said earlier on, it might be through an organization or a charity. It might be through something that the staff member is doing. It might be showing, you know, that your staff member is doing something. So yeah, it's a really lovely thing. And actually the video it's just really nice. It just shows off their product well. And as you can see, they've done really good hashtags here. So they've done like their alcohol free, try January, dry January, and non-alcoholic, Fizz Friday, and bubbly. So it's anybody that's interested in it, and people have gotten really behind it. And then I've added in a whole load of other ones because I've obviously realized that they forgot to do some, so I've added in a whole load of other ones. But yeah, I just thought it was a really, really lovely thing, a really, really lovely way of celebrating a national campaign, turning it into something that's really personal for them, really personal for the business, but really personal to the potential people who are using it as well. And as you can see, this is Brewdog's calendar, and they do a load on Instagram. If you've not seen their LinkedIn as well, they're brilliant on LinkedIn. But you can see they use all the channels, and they tend to put the same sort of ones on each of the channels. But I'm going to skip that because what I'm going to do is talk about this. So this is where you can get all this content. So all you need to do is just pop your pop in the Q&A and let me know, just write yes, and we'll make sure we get this sent to you. So this is the content inspiration calendar, which is essentially how any business could find and do this, whether you're Brewdog or whether you are an independent brewery, for example. So what we've done is we've taken the legwork out for you, and we have created a whole load of tabs, January through to December, and then we've put all the national content and campaigns and ideas in there for you. And then we've explained here what you need to do. So you just need to create your Maybe account and book in for some free help. So if you want to pick our brains, as I mentioned earlier on, and you can schedule in all the content here using the Maybe platform. So let's look at, I want to look at March. I think I want to look at March today, right? And we'll see if we can come up with some ideas based on some of the stuff we've talked about today. And it's going to take a wee minute because we're on Zoom and everything just has that tiny bit of a delay. Right. So as you can see, for March, there are some, there's some huge ones here. So we have, obviously, if you're anything to do with healthcare, there are brain injury awareness month, there is deep vein thrombosis month, there's various cancer awarenesses, like brain tumor, so there's some really deep, very heavy and topical months and awareness months that anybody could get behind. Or if it's something that's close to your heart, could you do something for charity? If it's something to do with you trying to speak to the people within the NHS or trying to do something for charity, or you're trying to raise awareness of something, then these are the best ways of doing it. It's looking at the national months and making sure that then because again within those national months, if you follow the hashtags, and again we've put the hashtags here, if you follow the hashtags, and what we've done is there that then you can start to look at what other people are putting, and it might be, if it's safe to say it was something to do with, I don't know, brain tumor awareness month, there might be like the NHS might be posting stuff about, I don't know, how to be mindful of things. It might be top tips on how to look after somebody. It might be aftercare. It might be how looking after yourself if you're going through treatment. It might be lots of things that actually if you're a certain business and that's something close to you, you could actually share that content by following the hashtags. And then I guess going for something that's a wee bit more comfortable probably for a lot of people. You've got good old pancake day, or Shrove Tuesday. So you've got good old pancake day. Could you do a pancake flipping competition with your colleagues in your work kitchen? Could you make pancakes and then put up loads of pictures and ask people on your Facebook or Instagram who made the best which one's the best topping? Could you just do a poll, even if you have nothing to do with pancakes whatsoever? Could you just do a poll about pancakes, asking people what their favorite topping and why? Could you do a vegan pancake? Could you, like, there's so many different ideas that you could do, whether you're a shopping center or whether you're a baker, it doesn't really matter. It was World Book Day as well. So as you can see, there are tons of amazing bits and bobs in there. Just pop it in the Q&A if you want me to get that sent to you. So remember, we've got all the tools and support that you need here at Maybe. So we do everything from scheduling, we help you with your advertising, your reporting, you can learn from any competitor and learn what works for you as well through the dashboard. And then in terms of the training that we offer, so on a Monday, it's how to use Maybe. On a Tuesday, so it's like 10 o'clock, just hop on here. You do social media basics. Wednesday is me. Thursday, ads for beginners. Friday is advanced ads. And then always on, so that is the view on demand training. So that is the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little snippets and videos that we make on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, which helps you guys get better at social. So I just want to cover the key takeaways and I'll have a quick look in the Q&A if anyone's got any other questions. So use the random national days to boost your content and have a bit of fun. So that goes back to Kiss a Ginger Day, maybe Pancake Day, that kind of thing. Go through the national day content calendar and pull out a list of the ones that relate directly back to your product or service. So think about, how you can use them to actually sell or talk about it. If you spot that something's really popular, then look at how you can show more of it in your social media. So you can ask questions, do polls. Social media is great for testing. So that goes back to the little Veganuary thing. Collaborate and partner up where you can. It's important to ensure that you boost your reach and engagement by maybe working with other businesses or recommending other ones that match your product or relate back to your product, especially if you're doing a national day. Show off your product and use the right hashtags to drive people back to you when using national campaigns. So don't just use the national one, use some of the other ones that are to do with the topic. And then of course, just set up your Maybe account so you can get more from social media.